Welcome to Fueling Your Legacy, hosted by Samuel Knickerbocker. Each week, we expose the faulty foundational mindsets of the past and rebuild a new, stronger foundation essential in creating your legacy. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Welcome back. I am so excited to be here today. I had a wonderful morning, got to get up, and I was stumbling down the stairs and scraped my knee. So just thrilled to be alive and excited to be back on the podcast and back on Facebook Live here with you guys for Fueling Your Legacy. This will go live on my podcast, Fueling Your Legacy, later today. If you'd rather listen there, then feel free to do so. Also, please like, comment, and share. Last video, we got a lot of interaction, a lot of views, and super thrilled about that. But if you can, actually go and take a screenshot of the podcast and then repost it on social media, tag me. By doing that, I will be able to give you a shout out on the next episode. I didn't see any this last time, so I'm not shouting anybody out because you didn't do the work. But I'd love to. I would really love to give you a shout out there. Want to jump right in. Again, this week we're talking about emotional mastery. Man, those words are slightly similar. But emotional mastery and how that is going to change your life and how it's going to impact your legacy. Today, I titled the video, and I'm going to title the podcast as well, what are your habits? How are your habits impacting your legacy, right? What is that doing? And what books have I learned? Because today's book review, what books have I learned how to master my emotions from? I want to talk about two, and I think I'm going to talk about them in this order because I think this is a foundational view of it. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. If you guys haven't read it, it's an incredible book. The premise of the book is to take every reaction, everything that we do, and really analyze it down to a synaptic level in our brain, the neurons firing, why we're doing what we're doing. When we are looking that in depth into a situation, into an action, into a reaction, into whatever it is that we're doing, especially emotions, then we're able to see a lot and really analyze ourselves and actually make change. The one thing about change is you have to be aware that something is not how you want it for you to actually change and make it better. So many people, they are walking through life and they're thinking, man, I just don't know why this happened. I don't know why this happened. I don't know why this is happening to me. And the reality is it's happening to you because your mind's not right, because you're not thinking in a way that's in alignment with that type of result. I was just talking with one of my business partners yesterday, and he had some great things going on. And then he started to, the people he was working with just started to pull out. They didn't necessarily want to do what they had originally said they wanted to do. And thankfully, he's got an awesome wife, and his wife had mentioned, it's probably because you're self-sabotaging yourself. I'm like, no. Well, I was talking to him, and legitimately, he just didn't feel comfortable going into a deal as big as he was going to do. And so he started to self-sabotage himself. And so we had to buoy him up and help him understand that, yes, those are emotional responses, but they're at a deeper cause than just, I don't know why he's backing out. No, don't just say that. Take responsibility for what you can control. And I believe that you can control a lot more than you think you can. And The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, it really emphasizes the amount that is in your control. Everything that we are, everything that we do, and how we react emotionally is a reaction to a stimulant. And so to use an example, sometimes my wife, she really doesn't like to get mad. She doesn't like to yell or anything. And she doesn't very often, like very, very rarely. Or sometimes there's that, or there's eating ice cream or things like that she feels that she naturally doesn't want to do, but she sometimes will give into it as a response to feeling lonely, feeling stressed, feeling anxiety. So these feelings, they're created, and then she reacts a certain way. Now, I choose to react a different way, but that's because of a lot of training and a lot of effort going into learning how to react and programming my mind to react a certain way to certain stimulants. But neither one is right or wrong. It's just if you're not satisfied with the way you're reacting to a certain stimulant, then you need to go identify how you're reacting and then start reprogramming your mind to react differently to that stimulant. Because ultimately there's things that happen to us, there's stimulants, and then we get to choose what those mean to us, and we get to change how we react to them. And that's what the power of habit does, or explains kind of how that works, how the habits are there, and then how you change a habit. And that's really important, learning how to actually change your habits, because so many people, they go through life, they recognize that there's habits, they recognize that they need to change them, and then they get on this schedule. They think, man, if I can just do this for 21 days or 60 days or 5 days or whatever study you read about how long it takes to change a habit, and they think they're just going to change their habit. You see this with dieters all the time. They think, man, I'm in the habit of eating junk food, but if I can just change my habit for 6 months and get to the gym and change my habit just for 6 months, then I'll be solid and I'll look how I want to look and all these things. But the reality is they're approaching it just from a completely false premise. They think, I'm only going to have to do this for so long and then it will become a habit. If you think that there's an end point to when you're going to have to start, when you're going to need to stop trying and it's just going to be natural, I would disagree. I think you need to start in your mind assuming that you're making a lifestyle change and this is going to be forever. And then that habit, if you want to call it that change in your life can actually transform you into something different. And that's really what the power of habit goes into. And so I hope that all of you guys go check that book out. If you haven't read it, definitely get it and read it. If you have read it, reread it, because it's just a life-changing book. It's one of the best books on habits that I've ever read. And gets into the environment that you need to put yourself in to sustain a habit, things like that. For me, so I did summer sales, and as I mentioned on Monday, and with the summer sales industry, you kind of there's so much. It's like experiencing a whole year's worth of rejection in 3 months. And so there's a lot of it. There's a lot of emotions. A day feels like a whole week because so much interaction with people, so much rejection, so much success. I mean, it's just up and down. It just keeps going up and down. So to kind of hem that in and learn how to stay at a kind of even keel perspective during your workday so that you can actually be effective, then I needed to change my habits, because up and down just wasn't working for me. It wasn't giving me the results that I really desired in my life. And so then I got a hold of another book. Once I was conscious that I needed to change my habits, how did I go about changing the habits? And this is where this other book comes in. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. Another book that if you haven't read, absolutely go read. But The Greatest Salesman in the World works from a perspective of, okay, there's a nice little story about how a young salesman or a young apprentice salesman gradually was trained and tutored by a mentor. And eventually he was able to take over the caravan, because it's placed in the Middle East, kind of ancient times, and take over the caravan, and he became the greatest salesman in the world. But how did he do that is the question. And for him, he did it through reading or maintaining these scrolls, there's 10 scrolls, and they're at the back of the book. And the scrolls challenge is to read each scroll. So you start with the first one. You read it 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or right when you wake up, lunch, and then right before you go to bed, technically. And you do that for 30 days. And then once you've read that one scroll for 30 days, then you go to scroll 2 and you read that one for 30 days. And the habit that's trying to be built is that you're constantly changing the way you're thinking. So a lot of them have really great affirmations, and they're specifically targeted to things that I can control, my emotions and how I'm going to react to a specific stimulant, a specific situation. And they're all about the emotional mastery of what's going on. So when somebody rejects you, how do you feel about them? How did you feel about them before they rejected you is a good question. And it's addressed in one of the scrolls. I believe it's scroll 3, but it talks about how you're just going to love everybody. You're going to wake up every day and you're just going to love everybody. And love is an emotion, but it's neither an attractor nor a detractor, right? If you love somebody, no matter what somebody does to you, you can just love them and their walls break down. It can break through the thickest of walls, the meanest of walls, right? Just by loving somebody. And when you're programming your mind that way and somebody then rejects you, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel like they stabbed you. It doesn't feel like they're really trying to tear you down. It feels like, wow, I love you so much. And I wish I could help you. It sounds like that's not going to work. And you move on, but you're able to move on in a state of gratitude, in a state of love, rather than having yourself get pulled down by that experience. That could happen with your kids. If you're a parent and you're parenting children and they're just not listening and you're getting overwhelmed with the fact that you want X result and you're getting Z result and it's just not working, think about, wow, I love this. I love this child. I really want to help them understand this. When I was going on a mission for my church and I was being taught how to train and teach other people, one of our teachers, he was kind of expressing to us, how do we need to actually teach? How do we need to approach everybody we talk to? And they said, approach them as if it was your mom, approach it as if it was your grandma, with that much love and tenderness and care that you really want to learn to communicate. You really want to be able to help these people. When you're approaching your life in every situation in a position of love or desire to really do what's best for those around you, and you're able to remove the self from the equation, and you're purely looking at how can I help other people, sometimes that does mean taking care of yourself and not letting other people walk over you. And I support that 100%. But a lot of times it means giving more of yourself, accepting more vulnerability. And when you are able to do that, that's a sign of emotional mastery. You're not held captive by other people's opinions or other people's beliefs about what you should or shouldn't be doing. And that emotional mastery then is able to transfer to greater success in all areas of your life, not just financially, not just faith, not just family, not just fitness, but learning to master your emotions. You're going to do things when you say you're going to do them. You're going to show up when you say you're going to show up, because it's not about, I don't feel like doing something, I don't want to do something. You just go and do it all the time, every day, because you know it's supposed to be done. And that's emotional mastery. And that emotional mastery then can create a crazy big legacy of whatever your dreams are. And everybody's dreams are going to be different. I don't know that there's I shouldn't say everybody's dreams are going to be different. Most people have their own unique dream of what they want to accomplish in life, large part because they have their own unique experiences about what's happened to them. And their dreams are often to help fulfill that need that's inside of each of us with our own experience. I think that's one of the greatest blessings in life. We don't need any more Samuel Knickerbockers. We don't need any more Charlie Knickerbockers, my wife. We don't need any more of those people. We just need each person on the planet to be themselves and to fully express their internal desires and learn to master their emotions. Emotions are a very trained thing. I think we see other people reacting to a certain thing, and then we react that way because we are told that's how we should react. And then we end up living somebody else's life, somebody else's insecurities, somebody else's emotions, rather than being in control of our own life. So hopefully that helps today. I know that for me, emotional mastery is the key to everything. I know this episode that's going to come out on Friday is going to knock your socks off. Just had a powerhouse in here. Her name is Stephanie Arenda. And she's going to be in here on Friday, and just so much, probably the longest episode that I've done so far, just so much information. And she's a fireball. So definitely tune in on Friday for that. Also, I personally am going to be speaking. If you guys are watching this on Facebook and you're in the Utah area, either Utah Valley, Salt Lake City, even up into Ogden or Logan, if you guys are going to be here on Friday, I'm going to be speaking at an event, Reborn, for actually it's going to be about 2 45-minute segments, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, really about how to get your mindset straight with money and how to start living in fulfillment a little bit more and be reborn, throw off the old life that you didn't like and have a new life. And if you'd like tickets to that, I can throw a link in here below, but also please direct message me on Instagram or Facebook, anywhere you can find me, SS Knickerbocker, and you'll be able to get access to that event. I'd love to see as many people there as possible. It's going to be life-changing. It's me and then 3 other speakers who their stories are way better than mine. I have a pretty decent story, I feel like, but their stories are incredible, and I'm in awe every time I hear them, because it's just crazy to hear transformation in people and see where they've become. And then it gives you hope. It gives me hope that I can actually achieve more and accomplish more and push myself farther, because I saw where they were at and I see where they're at now. And I think, wow, if I can just manage to get there, then I'll be happy. And then, not then I'll be happy, but I will be happy. Actually, I will be happier there, achieving more. And then I'll be able to share that with other people and guide other people there. I'm very happy now, just to be clear there. But please like, comment, share. If you're listening to this on podcast, review it. I know that there's value from not just these episodes, but podcasts in general. I would definitely suggest going and listening to just people who you find that you resonate with. There's a lot of people who have achieved a lot of great things, and they're absolutely inspiring. So have a wonderful day and go do some amazing things today. It's Wednesday, and Thanksgiving's coming up, so we'll have to talk about that next week. But excited to be part of your life, and hopefully we can grow together. Thanks for joining us today. If what you heard resonated with you, please like, comment, and share on social media. Tag me so I can give you a shout out on the next episode. And thanks to all those who have left a review. It helps spread the message of what it really takes to build a legacy that lasts. Catch you next time on Fueling Your Legacy.